few minutes, let us welcome Mr. Ahmed Kamal for the keynote address. Can we give it in the comment section? Let me see your clapping and your amazing warm welcome. Thank you, Mr. Ahmed Kamal.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here in an August event in April. My name has been mentioned. Ahmed Kamal is my name. And I'm very glad to be a part of this event. Education for me is a passion. And whatever has to do with it takes a key position in my mind. And being here this morning wasn't difficult. It was a very easy decision. First, I want to thank Shola for great thought, initiative, and commitment to making this happen. I want to also thank other members of our team on the School Builders Lab space who work together to create opportunity for continuity in education by providing platform to build leaders to carry the flag and be beacons of hope as we progress in the journey of educating people across the universe. Distinguished guests, members of the School Builders Lab, graduating fellows, ladies and gentlemen, I want to start by saying it's a great privilege and honor to be here with you on this great occasion. And I'm going to be talking to you not about the things you do not know, but just saying things you have known, but from a different perspective. I've been, July 16 this year will be my 40th year in education. So that will be 4 decades. And I've done 11 companies, 5 industries. Majority of the years have been spent in education. So I'll be sharing with you what I think works and how we planned, and then we got to where we are today. Today, let me make it clear to all of you that you are not just graduating, you are stepping into responsibility. Leadership is a responsibility. In education, whether we like it or not, people become what they are helped to become. So you people you are going to be coming into contact with, either in leadership or in the space of classroom operation, will become what you help them become. But the significance of your own preparedness is that you can't give what you don't have. So it's what you have that you can give to help others become the better persons that you dream them to be. And I want to start today by saying, over the years, one of the cancers that has invaded our industry in education is because it has become a space where people get into accidentally. And because they get there accidentally, there was no preparedness, and the outcomes were a shoot or miss scenario. So I want to say today that for this set of fellows, please, if you are not intentional at the beginning, start today by declaring that you are going to be an education manager, an education administrator by intention. And being intentional means that you see the end from the beginning or the beginning from the end. This is spiritual, but it's also very physical and possible in administration. Great educators are not accidental, they are intentional. Many people fall into teaching, but the ones who transform lives choose teaching. So if you have many people today are teachers because they fell into that profession because maybe options are scarce. But those who will thrive in this profession are those who choose it. I want to be a teacher. That is my experience. Everybody thought I was going to be a lawyer because of the kind of things I did in high school. But I knew I was going to be a teacher because it gave me more space. It was a bigger space for me to influence younger people. And whatever I have grown to become today in this industry was because of my intentionality. The difference shows between those who are intentional and those who are not intentional. And in being intentional, there are questions you must ask yourself. And my first question is, why am I here? Have you asked yourself this question? Why are you here? Why are you on this program? Why did you take this journey? Why did you choose to be in education? Then the next question for you is, what impact do I want to have? So if you are here, are you going to be part of the number, or are you going to be a change agent? What impact do you intend to make by being on this program and by being on this journey, or by choosing to be in education? What kind of educator or leader am I going to become, or am I becoming? You must ask yourself this question. What kind of leader or educator am I becoming? Then the next question I want all of you to ask yourself is, if you are not intentional, the system will shape you. If you are not intentional, the education system will shape you. If you are intentional, you will shape the system. You must ask yourself, do I want to shape the future? I want the future to shape me. The answer you give to this question will be what will define the steps you need to take. So if you want the system to shape you, you don't even need to prepare. You don't need to be intentional, because the system will find a place for you. But if you want to change this system, then preparedness is required from the beginning. Your career in education must be designed, not discovered. My dear younger colleagues, please design this career. Ask yourself the question, where am I going? What brand am I going to be? From the beginning of my career, I chose to be two things. I was going to be going out for schools that have legacies. I wasn't going to work in any school that is not a legacy program. Every school in which I've worked till today have been schools that are built around legacies. So my school brand was a legacy brand, but I also had a personal brand called the Kamalish brand. Who am I? What perception should people have of me? What are the signals I'm giving to people when they come into contact with me? Let me just keep walking, and I will figure it out along the way. No, one of the biggest mistakes professionals can make, especially in education, is this idea that let me just keep walking, things will shape up. No, you can't keep walking. Plan from beginning where you want to be, who you want to be, what footprints you intend to leave. And the time to begin to plan that is now, because this opportunity is a chance for a fresh beginning. That approach produces experience, but not necessarily growth. Once you think things will shape up, you will have experience. You'll be counting years in doing your job, but the impact will be very limited. There will be no growth for you, because you can actually be marking time, counting years without impact. You must design your career. My dear fellows, please, it's important for you to design your career. What kind of career do you want to have? For instance, when I started teaching, it was clear to me that by the time I have done 18 years in the classroom, either as a curriculum leader or as a mere classroom operator, I must move to leadership. And in my first 18 years, my first 14 years, I was in the Federal Ministry of Education. It was clear to me that I wasn't going to be a principal or a vice principal after 18 years in the civil service. The journey is long. The queue is very long. So what did I do? I looked for a private school, and the first private school that caught my attention was Olashore International School. I applied for a job there. I was given an offer to teach in the classroom. And after 2 years, I became a curriculum leader, the one we call HOD. But I knew that was, by the time I was an HOD, I was only 16 years in my career. And I want to be a minimum of a vice principal when I spent 18 years in the business. What did I do? I looked for a school that offered leadership was smaller than Olashore International School. I went there, and I was only 9 months there when Olashore declared the space of a vice principal open, and I applied for it, and I went back to Olashore as a vice principal administration. And I did that job for about 3 years, and I discovered that I needed to prove a point by saying what I've done in the school system, I could replicate it elsewhere. Then UBA Bank published the vacancy for the role of a business head of HR for one of their emerging businesses, and I applied for that role, and I was picked, and I spent 3 years at UBA, then went back to school, and the rest, as we say, is history. So you must decide your career. From instructional role in the classroom to instructional leadership, that is, as an head of department, an academic lead, a curriculum leader, to non-instructional leadership, school leadership, policy, system, and strategy team. Each level demands something different. You need some kind of skill sets, some kind of competencies for you to fit into the role you envisage in school leadership. And here are the key. Each level demands something different, and these are the keys you need. What got you here will not take you there. What got you into the room will not take you to the top tables, will not take you to leadership. You can only get into the room. So while in the room, the engineering of the journey from the first step in the room to leadership position is going to be a different kind of scenario that will require some different kind of skills and attitudes. First, you must have knowledge-based preparedness, your competitive advantage. You must seek knowledge. You must have superior intellect, superior training, superior certification, superior exposure. If you want to grow in education leadership, you must be prepared before the opportunity comes. Don't wait for an opportunity to push you into preparation. Prepare for opportunities. My people say that a hunter that puts bullet in his gun when he saw an antelope will not kill an antelope. The hunter that will kill the antelope is a hunter that already had a bullet in his gun, getting ready for the antelope. So you have to be prepared for the opportunities that will come in education by being ahead of your opportunities in your readiness. If you want to grow in education leadership, you must be prepared before opportunities come, and the preparation must be deliberate. First of it, that you must have formal learning. Yeah, first level in formal learning, you've been to university, you have your diplomas, you have your degrees, you have your postgraduate qualifications. That is formal training. But what we are doing today is also part of the formal training, because this is done in a structured environment. But some other things you need to do for you to be able to get to become proper fit persons for leadership opportunities in schools is first, you must volunteer. Volunteerism is the best way to grow yourself. Throw yourself at every openings, opportunities in your system. Don't think about reward. Don't think about benefit. Think about what you can do for your system. You get better by doing. You get recognized by doing. You get experience by doing, and experience is the best teacher. Take extra responsibilities. Shadow leaders. Have people who are your mentors, people you want to be like. People who have done extraordinary things in your profession you want to be like. Identify them and prepare to be like them, looking at what they did and the opportunities they got. For instance, when I knew I was going to go into school leadership, the first thing I did was I picked an MBA, where my cohorts were doing postgraduate degrees in education. I did my own postgraduate degree in business administration. When my colleagues were picking other qualifications, I went to sit for the exam of the Institute of Chartered Personnel Management of Nigeria, the exam of Teachers of Administration of Nigeria, the exam of Teachers of Coaching and Mentoring of Nigeria. My goal in this is to get the skill set that we require to be able to take leadership opportunity when they open. So, and because I've seen leaders who are my mentors, I saw what they did to get the opportunity they got, so I follow in their shoes. Solving problems nobody assigns to you. My dear fellows, please, you must have an attitude that solve problems that are not assigned to you. Be a problem solver. Every organization, every school is looking for problem solvers. Problem solvers make problems or make lives in organizations easier to live. So be a problem solver, have an eye for problems, also have a mind for solution. This is where the leadership is built. Personal ownership. You must also learn to take ownership for things, for your career, for your responsibility, for the tasks you are given. Take ownership. Take personal ownership. No one owes you growth. Your personal development, my dear fellows, is your business. You must take responsibilities for your personal development. You must look ahead. You must look at opportunities for training, and you must pitch in for everyone. Let me say that again. No one owes you growth. Your growth and development in your career is your personal business. If you wait for your organization to develop you fully, you will wait forever. So your organizations will support you to grow, but you must take ownership. The courage to make difficult decisions. Schools and other companies today are looking for individuals who can make difficult decisions. They are looking for people who are courageous, people who are bold, people who can dare. And you must be that person. Let's be honest. Growth is not convenient. The growth you seek, the development you seek, the opportunities you seek in the school system are not convenient. At some point, you will face decisions like, do I stay comfortable or take a risk? These are decisions you will take as you grow in your career. You will ask yourself, this zone is comfortable. Do I remain here? I take a risk. Do I choose income or opportunities? At times, your growth will lie in the opportunities, not in the income. But it is also to grow for your self-development and to provide the needs of your life. At times, you also will need money. But occasionally, you have to take the decision, what is first in this scenario, money or opportunity. The future belongs to those who can make uncomfortable decisions. There are occasions when you have to say, well, the money here is good, but the growth is not here. You move on to a road that provides you with growth. You might not carry as much money as where you are coming from, but that's preparation for the bigger opportunity that lay ahead of you. Sometimes the best career move will not pay you more. It will prepare you more. Then another point here that I want you to take note of as you move into your career is globalizing your self-development. Teaching and education is a global profession. Teachers are required all over the world. As today, I tell my colleagues, there's no industry as fast expanding as education, and there's no job that is required more today than teaching. If I start to list organizations that employ teachers that would need services of educators, I will probably take the next 3 years. Education took me to the bank, took me to Shell, took me to other companies. So education is no longer local. Your students are global, your competition is global, your relevance, my dear colleagues, must be global. So you must read beyond your environment, learn from global best practices, engage with international education conversations, benchmark yourself against global standards. You must do these things. You must globalize your focus and your perspective of education. Do not become a local champion with a global blind spot. Don't become a local champion with a global blind spot. Globalize your learning. The 6th point from me to you this morning is system thinking. The mark of true leadership is to think about the system. Don't think about your responsibility. Think about how your responsibility, your role connects with other functions that make the system run. See your role as part of the wheel that make the organizations you work run smoothly and run freely. As you grow, you must shift from how do I do my job well to how does the system work? How do I improve the system? So you must move from thinking, how do I do my job well? Doing your job well is no longer enough for leadership. A leader is somebody who has an attitude of thinking about the whole system. A leader is somebody who has a total view, a holistic view of the organization. Leadership is not about activity. Leadership is about impact at scale. So it's not what you do, it's the outcome. Nobody is going to reward you in your career for the actions you took. People are going to reward you and recognize you for the outcome you bring to the system. So your thinking must be, what impact am I going to have, and not what actions am I going to take. While actions are important, they must be geared towards impact. This will require thinking beyond self. Don't think about yourself alone. Making decisions that benefit the system, not just individuals. You must think about the system above individuals. When you focus on one person, you lose the entire community of people that belong to the system. So focus on the biggest majority, the community of people you work with. Being fair, even when it's unpopular. In your career, please, while you want to be firm, my dear fellows, please be fair. Even when it is unpopular to be fair, still be fair. Choosing what is right over what is easy. You'll be faced with the challenge of deciding what to do. What is easy or what is right. And the great people are people who know that some things are difficult to do, but because they are the right thing to do, they just do them. Don't go for what is easy. The way of a flowing water becomes crooked because a flowing water avoids what is difficult, goes for easy ways. So is the life of a man. A man that avoids difficult decisions will become a crook because his ways will be crooked. So choose decisions because they are right, choose things to do because they are right, not because they are easy. My 7 points to you: a light moment, but a serious truth. Let me say something that may sound funny, but is very rare. Education. In education, if you are not careful, you can be busy every day, tired every week, experienced every year, and still not grow. This might sound funny, but it's true. In this industry, if you are not careful, you'll be busy every day, like the bees, like the ants. You'll be tired every day. You'll be experienced every day, but you still will not grow. There's a difference between experience and growth and development. So please, don't just be busy. Be intentional. Be strategic. Be evolving. Don't do the same thing again and again and expect the same outcome. Have your goal clear and ask, how am I going to deliver this? And continue to be flexible, continue to be adaptable, continue to learn new ways of doing things. My final charge to all of you this morning is, as you graduate today, I leave you with this. Be intentional about your path to the top. Be deliberate about your growth. Be courageous in your decisions. Be global in your thinking. Be system-focused in your leadership. And above all, never forget that education is not just a profession. It is influence. And influence, when used well, can change generations. Today, you are called to change generations by the kind of leadership you provide. Congratulations to the class of 2026. The future of education is not ahead of you. It is in your hands. Thank you, and God bless you.
Wow. Amazing.